Have you ever heard of a book that no one in the world can read? A book filled with bizarre plants that don't exist. Strange astronomical charts and mysterious figures bathing in green liquid. This isn't a fantasy novel. It's a real-life enigma known as the Voynich Manuscript. For over a century, this medieval codex has stumped the world's brightest minds, cryptographers, linguists, and historians alike. Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most baffling puzzles. What is the Voynich Manuscript, and why does it continue to fascinate and frustrate us in equal measure? Let's start with what we know. The manuscript is named after Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish book dealer who acquired it in 1912. Carbon dating tells us the parchment envelopment S, written on date, back to the early 5th-10th century, sometime between 1404 and 1438. The book itself is small, about 23 centimeters tall, but it's packed with around 240 pages of handwritten text and illustrations. The script, often called Voynich, is unlike any known language. It flows elegantly, with an alphabet of 20 to 30 unique characters, but its meaning remains completely locked away. The illustrations are just as puzzling as the text. Scholars have divided the manuscript into several sections based on these drawings. First, there's the herbal section, filled with drawings of plants. But here's the catch. Almost none of these plants can be identified. They seem to be composites of different species or complete fantasies from the author's imagination. Some have roots that look like tiny people, while others have leaves and flowers that defy the laws of botany. Are these depictions of extinct plants, or are they purely symbolic? We simply don't know. Then we have the astronomical and astrological sections. These pages feature circular diagrams, suns, moons, and stars. Some look like zodiac signs, but they're not the ones we're familiar with. They're populated with tiny figures and intricate, repeating patterns. It seems to be a custom-made cosmos, a unique view of the heavens that doesn't align with any known astronomical tradition from that period, whether European or otherwise. What celestial events or beliefs was the author trying to record? The mystery only deepens. Perhaps the most famous and baffling section is the balneological section. This part is filled with drawings of small, naked figures, mostly women, bathing in a series of elaborate pools and tubs. These tubs are connected by a complex network of pipes and tubes, almost like a fantastical water park or a complex biological system. The liquid they're bathing in is often green or blue. What does it all mean? Are these a form of hydrotherapy? An allegory for reproduction? Or something else entirely? A ritual or a story we can't begin to comprehend? The ambiguity of these scenes has led to countless theories, from alchemy to a secret women's health manual. There's also a cosmological section with more abstract, circular diagrams and a pharmaceutical section with what look like recipes. This section features detached plant part sleeves, roots, flowers next to jars and containers, as if providing instructions for creating potions or remedies. Finally, a section of pure, unillustrated text runs from beginning to end, suggesting a continuous narrative or a series of entries. The entire book feels purposeful, as if it was created with a clear system in mind. But what was that system? Over the years, theories about the manuscript's origin and purpose have run wild. Is it a lost language? An elaborate code? A sophisticated hoax? Let's explore some of the main arguments. The lost language theory suggests Voynich is a real, natural language that was simply never recorded elsewhere. Statistical analysis of the text shows it follows certain linguistic patterns, like Zipf's law, which states that the most frequent word will appear about twice as often as the second most frequent word, and so on. This pattern is found in most natural languages, which lends some credibility to this idea. Perhaps it was a minority language from Europe or Asia that was transcribed using a unique, invented alphabet. Then there's the code theory. Many have tried to crack the Voynich manuscript as if it were a cipher. During World War I and II, some of the world's best codebreakers, including William Friedman, who cracked Japan's purple code, took a shot at it. And they all failed. Friedman himself concluded it must be an artificial or constructed language, something with its own grammar and syntax, not just a simple substitution cipher. This would make it incredibly difficult to decipher without a key. Could it be the work of a 15th century genius creating a language for a secret society or for their own private use? Of course, we can't ignore the hoax theory. This is the idea that the entire manuscript is a meaningless fake created to fool a wealthy collector. The prime suspect for this was often Wilfred Voynich himself. But the 15th century carbon dating of the parchment makes that impossible. So, if it is a hoax, it's a very old one. The argument here is that someone in the 1400s meticulously created a book of gibberish and fantastical drawings to sell. But this theory has its own problems. Creating such a complex and internally consistent-looking document would have been an immense amount of work. The text flows naturally, without the hesitation or errors you might expect from someone just writing random squiggles. It seems like too much effort for a medieval prank. The manuscript's known history, or provenance, adds another layer to the puzzle. Before Voynich found it, it was owned by a Jesuit college near Rome. Letters found with the book suggest it might have once belonged to Emperor Rudolph II of the Holy Roman Empire, a known collector of curiosities and patron of alchemists. One letter from 1666 mentions that the emperor bought it for 600 gold ducats, a massive sum at the time, believing it to be the work of the 13th century English friar and scientist, Roger Bacon. While modern scholars doubt Bacon was the author, this early belief shows that even 400 years ago, people thought the book held profound, secret knowledge. In recent years, artificial intelligence has been brought in to tackle the mystery. AI algorithms have been trained on the text to look for patterns that human eyes might miss. Some studies have claimed to identify the language as a form of Proto-Romance or even a dialect of Hebrew. But none of these claims have been widely accepted or have led to a full translation. Each new breakthrough is met with skepticism from the wider academic community, and so far, not a single sentence has been verifiably translated. The manuscript continues to guard its secrets. So, where does that leave us? The Voynich Manuscript remains a perfect historical mystery. It's a text without a language, a book without a title, and a work of art without an artist. It's a testament to the fact that even in our age of information and technology, there are still puzzles that defy our understanding. It could be the lost wisdom of a forgotten culture, the private ramblings of a lone genius, or the most elaborate and beautiful piece of nonsense ever created. Its enduring appeal lies in this very uncertainty. The manuscript is a blank slate onto which we can project our own ideas about history, magic, and knowledge. Every undeciphered page is an invitation to wonder. What do you think it is? A medical encyclopedia? An alchemist's diary? A message from another world? The possibilities are as endless as they are enchanting. The truth is, we may never know the answer. But the quest to understand the Voynich manuscript has pushed the boundaries of linguistics, cryptography, and historical analysis. It reminds us that the past is not a closed book. Sometimes, it's a book written in a language we have yet to learn. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you're as fascinated by historical mysteries as I am, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives. Let me know your own theories about the Voynich manuscript in the comments below. See you in the next video.